The opportunity cost of obtaining more of one good is a reduction in another good as the economy moves along its production possibility frontier. When the production possibility frontier is curved, the opportunity cost of another unit of a good increases as the economy obtains more and more of that good. The production possibility frontier is usually curved because some resources have different comparative advantages. Let's use the graph below to illustrate these concepts. This curve shows that the economy can produce 3,000 computers and 0 cars, or 2,200 computers and 600 cars, or 2,000 computers and 700 cars, or 1,000 cars and 0 computers. Let's look at the opportunity cost of getting additional cars as we start at the very top left point on the curve and move to the bottom right corner of the curve. As we go from 3,000 computers, as we go from 0 cars to 600 cars, we gain an additional 600 cars, but we give up 800 computers. The number of computers we can produce when the number of cars is 0 is 3,000, and the number of computers we can produce when the number of cars is 600 is only 2,200. So we lose 800 cars to get we lose 800 computers to get 600 cars. Taking the ratio, that tells us that we're giving up 1.67 computers for every extra car we obtain as the number of cars goes from 0 to 600. Now let's look at what happens when we go from point A to point B. We gain an additional 100 cars. The number of cars goes from 600 to 700, but we give up 200 computers. The number of computers goes down from 2,200 to 2,000. Taking the ratio tells us that we give up 2 computers for every extra car we obtain when the number of cars goes from 600 to 700. Finally, let's look at what happens when we go from point B to the horizontal intercept. We gain 300 more cars. The number of cars goes from 700 to 1,000, but we give up 2,000 computers. The number of computers goes from 2,000 down to 0. Taking the ratio, that tells us that we give up 6.67 computers for every extra car we produce when we move from point B to that intercept. Notice, the opportunity cost of an additional car goes from 1.67 to 2 to 6.67. Because this curve is bowed, the opportunity cost of an additional car increases as we obtain more and more cars. The reason the frontier is curved or bowed is because some resources are more productive or better suited to make computers, and other resources are better suited to make cars. When we make all computers, all resources, those that are good at making computers and those that are good at making cars, make computers. But as we shift resources away from computers to cars, the first resources we should use to make cars are those that are really good at making cars. So we get a lot of extra cars initially as we move resources without giving up very much in terms of lost computer production. But as we move more and more resources away from computers to cars, we start using resources that are less and less well suited to make cars and are better and better at making computers, which means we get less extra increase in cars as we shift resources, and we suffer more decreases in computers as we shift resources. Therefore, the curve gets steeper and steeper, and the opportunity cost of an additional car gets higher and higher.